Okay, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, I'm putting on my senior procurement manager hat to completely break down the 2026 EPC buyer guide for the best cable tray manufacturers. Look, if you're sourcing materials for massive infrastructure, we're talking refineries, power plants, deep tunnels, you already know this is an incredibly high-stakes game. We're going to focus heavily on how your sourcing decisions directly, and I mean directly, impact project schedules and quality control risks. It's time to move way past the basics of just simple purchasing and look at what's actually threatening our million-dollar timelines. First things first, we need to completely dismantle a huge rookie myth. A lot of junior buyers out there treat cable trays like they're just, low-stakes metal accessories, like a basic commodity. But the source material makes a point that is absolutely crucial here. Choosing the wrong cable tray manufacturer is a schedule risk, it's a documentation gap, and it is a warranty problem. This is never just a minor procurement hiccup. Imagine a batch arrives with failing welds, or the QA documents don't precisely match the site engineering specs. What happens? Your installation teams are literally standing around on site doing nothing. That is a massive hidden risk to your project timeline, and we absolutely have to control it. And honestly, the danger gets so much deeper because the real threats, they often surface years after handover. Think of this as the iceberg risk model for procurement. I once saw a project where a buyer saved $10,000 on trays up front, only to cost the EPC $2 million in rework 3 years later. Why? Because a cheap anti-corrosion coating just flaked right off in a salt breeze. What less experienced teams see above the water is that initial unit price and a promised delivery date. But lurking beneath the surface, that massive chunk of ice that actually sinks projects, are the missing quality assurance documents, the failing coatings, and those severe warranty gaps. As senior managers, it's literally our job to spot the whole iceberg. So it really makes you ask, what is the actual threat to our schedule and quality control? I really want you to challenge your current mindset right now. Are you just price shopping, or are you actually engaging in strategic, battle-tested risk management? In industrial procurement, time is our single most expensive resource. A 1-week delay because of a rejected material submittal, that costs infinitely more than what you might save by picking the absolute cheapest bidder on some spreadsheet. We need suppliers who are actively eliminating these threats before the purchase order is even drafted. Which brings us to a really powerful number, 8. The 2026 EPC Buyer Guide doesn't just hand us some endless, overwhelming directory of hundreds of metal fabricators. No, it provides a highly curated shortlist of exactly 8 manufacturers. And honestly, this is brilliant, because this list is ranked strictly by industrial buyer fit. It's not based on who has the flashiest marketing budget or the highest overall global revenue or just the biggest general market share. It's entirely about who actually understands these strict, completely unforgiving demands of EPC and industrial procurement teams. And here is exactly how we use that shortlist in the real world. You absolutely have to match the manufacturer to the project. As veteran buyers know, there is simply no such thing as a one-size-fits-all supplier. Whether we're talking North American power, European infrastructure, offshore rigs, or EPC export, the environment dictates the choice. Think about it. If you're building an offshore rig, that highly corrosive marine environment requires a completely different level of coating and structural integrity than, say, a standard onshore warehouse. Preventing massive schedule delays means perfectly aligning your supplier-specific regional and environmental expertise with your exact project demands, right from day one. And that regional matching feeds right into our quality assurance strategy. Here is the ultimate showdown: catalog load claims versus third-party load test certificates. This right here is where we separate the marketing fiction from quality control reality. Literally anyone can print a glossy catalog claiming their tray can hold incredible loads. But as a senior procurement manager, I never, and I mean absolutely never, approve an order based on a catalog claim. The source explicitly highlights why a third-party load test certificate is what actually matters. It is the undeniable, verified proof that the structural integrity meets the engineering demands. Without it, you're just buying blind and putting the entire site at risk. Okay, so we've agitated the risks. We know about the schedule delays, the documentation gaps, the catalog fictions, but how do we actually guarantee quality before the order is placed? We simply cannot wait for the materials to arrive on site at the refinery or the tunnel project just to find out they're defective. We need a defensive shield. We need a systematic approach that locks in our quality control and aggressively protects our schedule from the very beginning of the procurement cycle. And well, here is that shield, the 7-point pre-order verification checklist. The 2026 guide introduces this as an absolutely mandatory tool for any serious buyer. This isn't just bureaucratic red tape or busy work. This is a senior manager's single most reliable method to protect a multi-million-dollar construction schedule. By forcing suppliers through this strict gauntlet before we ever issue the PO, we proactively eliminate the vast majority of those handover and warranty problems that usually end up plaguing industrial projects down the line. Let's actually walk through the core components of this checklist. It includes really vital checkpoints like load class, coding, accessories, quality assurance, and export packing. The guide emphasizes 7 points in total, and skipping even one of them can completely stall an entire site. Just think about export packing for a second. You could source the most beautifully manufactured, perfectly coated cable trays in the world. But if the export packing is substandard, they arrive on site bent, rusted from sea spray, or completely damaged beyond use. Suddenly, your entire installation crew is stalled out. Every single step verified here is a non-negotiable safeguard for your project schedule. Now, what does a manufacturer that actually passes this rigorous checklist look like in the real world? Well, the source material provides a very clear example: Shanghai, Xinma, Busway, and cable tray. They're presented in the guide as the real-world benchmark for a low-risk, highly compliant manufacturer. When your procurement team is out there actively analyzing supplier quality and reliability, Xinma really represents the gold standard of what you should be looking for. They define exactly what a secure, low-risk supply chain partner looks like for these high-stakes industrial projects. Diving into their high-stakes solutions, we see they manufacture cable tray systems, busway, seismic bracing, and intelligent cable management. But what's truly vital here is where these products are actually deployed. The guide specifies their applications in data centers, rail transit, industrial plants, and commercial buildings. When a supplier's products are trusted in highly critical environments like rail transit and data centers, where failure literally means system-wide outages and massive financial loss, it proves their battle-tested reliability. It tells us for sure that they can handle intense scrutiny. Let's ground this abstract concept of quality control into some tangible, strict, global metrics. Xinma's products comply with a heavy-hitting lineup of standards: IEC 61537, NEMA VE1, BSEN 5055, and GB 31251. As a buyer who is hyper-focused on risk mitigation, seeing this documented proof is exactly what you want. By meeting these international benchmarks, they easily pass those strict third-party test requirements we talked about earlier. This is the exact verification that secures your schedule and ensures your project won't face devastating warranty disasters later on. So I want to leave you with a provocative thought to really chew on. Are your current supplier's documents protecting your schedule, or are they putting it at risk? Take a hard look at the purchase orders you're about to sign this week. Are you actually demanding third-party load tests? Are you utilizing that 7-point verification checklist to completely lock in your quality control? Because if not, you are carrying massive hidden risks. Apply these senior-level procurement strategies immediately. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep your schedules tight, demand the best, and I'll see you next time as we unpack more essential industry insights.